morning at 11 o'clock in my studio. You'll see behind me, it looks pretty bare because I took all of my quilts down and took them up to our first Collage Quilter retreat, which was up in Midway, Utah. This past weekend, I just got home on Saturday afternoon. We were there from Wednesday afternoon until Saturday, and we had a wonderful time. So I want to share a little bit more about that and show you what is going to be the block that I released today. So part of the garden party pattern, we're on week 7. Let me grab this for you. Okay, I have to hide some of it because some of it hasn't been released yet. Here we go. All right, so this is, hi everybody. Hi Janelle, Sherry, great to have you guys. So here is week 7. This block is the Queen Bee block, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I've done here and how to approach this block, and then I want to show you everything that we've done so far. And okay, so shortly after this video, if you have signed up for the Garden Party Quilt Along, I will be sending out this block. If you haven't purchased the Garden Party, you can still do that and join us. We're on week 7. We still have 5 weeks to go. So there is plenty of fun stuff coming up. And if you purchase it today or anytime coming up, you'll receive all of the blocks in a zip file, and it is a downloadable product only. If you're not into downloads, no problem. At the end of this quilt along, I will release the physical pattern. So I know download is sometimes difficult. Technology always throws us off, right? So anyway, so this is week 7. This is the Queen Bee, and I'm just going to show you a few things about this. So I've already done most of the quilting. So first of all, pattern template, easy peasy. You can see that just like the other bee pattern, the busy bee pattern, I've quilted the wings with a darker thread to kind of emphasize the veins of the creature. And then there's a really subtle little honeycomb pattern here that I've created with a piece of fabric that I cut to look like a ribbon. That's kind of my new thing. I'm having a lot of fun playing with this. And then I had Amelia help me with fussy cutting and just embellishing this block. And I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. So a lot of this fabric that I've used in here, including some of the birds and the flowers, was in my fussy cutting, one of my fussy cutting bundles. And we will be releasing more fussy cutting bundles. We don't have any in stock right now. We're waiting for fabric, and we're accumulating a lot of fabric, but I won't release it until everything is in stock. So that is that. It was a really pretty simple. I would say this is probably on the beginner side of the spectrum. A few things that I want to point out are, I have used a color that really looks good kind of as a highlight on black is light blue. And so that's why you see a lot of this light blue in the design, and then a little bit darker on the outsides to kind of emphasize his rounded, or her rounded body. And so there you have it. The other thing that I've done is I've quilted only this section that's within the honeycomb, and I've left the everything else unquilted because that makes it really easy to do this seam and join it to another block. Now I have another block here, but I'm not going to show you what that is yet because I haven't released it. So that is this week. I'm going to just go through and show you everything that what we've done so far. So we've got these two. Let's see if I can pin this up and share with you kind of the whole collection that we've got going on. So we've got those, and Our very first week was this ladybug block, and I've connected this to the ranunculus. You are welcome to start connecting blocks, although I would recommend that you wait and see. So just work on getting all of your blocks finished, and then you can arrange them as you want. Of course, I'm going a little bit ahead because all of my blocks are done. So anyway, we've got these also. And let me pin these up for you. And I have just been having a ball with this. So breaking this down to a small collage and creating a block, with other elements and different types of blocks. Some of them are set on point, and putting ribbon and cutting fabric up. It's just been really, really fun for me. And I feel like I've learned a lot as I've done this, and I hope you have too. Okay, so here's another set of blocks. So you kind of see the pattern that we have going on. We've got an insect and a flower. Let's see if I can put this. Ultimately, my quilt is going to be 3 blocks across and 4 blocks down. So it will be 12 blocks. So we have quite a few more blocks coming. And let's see, then we've got those. And then the last one or so far that's been released is the busy bee. So now we have the busy bee and the queen bee, because a flower garden needs lots of bees, right? Okay, I don't have a pin on that. Let's hope that that will stay. Let me see if I can find a pin. There we go. Okay, so those are all the blocks so far. You can kind of see where this is going. It's going to be a really busy, interesting, fun party. That's how I wanted it to look. And I am really thrilled. It's been really fun to do. So I hope that you are enjoying it as much as I am. So just as a reminder, on my YouTube channel, the Collage Quilter YouTube channel, there is a recent video tutorial. So in addition to these live videos, I'm posting some helpful tutorial videos pre-recorded. And so on that YouTube channel is a video about attaching the blocks together. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to check that out. And then last week, if you were able to join me, you met Marion McClellan, who is my long arm quilter. I absolutely love her. We had a few technical difficulties kind of connecting, but overall, I think it was a really helpful conversation about how she approaches collage or approaches quilting on collage projects. So that's what we have going on. And let me now take a look at your questions and see if you have any questions, and I can answer them for you live. This is a really good format. Sometimes, as I'm working in my studio and running this little business, it's hard for me sometimes to answer all of the emails that I get, but this is a great place to check in with me. So let me go there now, and I will answer any questions that you have. Okay, let's see. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It's always so fun to see who you are. And now I am especially just thrilled because I met a whole bunch of you in person at the retreat, and we had a wonderful time. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I do have to say that, I've taught a lot before, but I haven't done my own retreat. This was my first retreat that I did, multiple days in a row, just kind of on a format that I wanted. And it was so, I have to tell you, I actually kind of teared up at the last day when I saw everybody's work laid out, because it was so beautiful. Everybody did such a great job, and not everybody started out very confident. We had a few people that were like, oh, what am I doing here? This is just too much. I just don't know if I can do this. And over the course of those days, the great thing about a retreat is that I was able to sit down and spend plenty of time. I hope it was plenty of time for you, but it seemed like we were able to work together individually, just me and another artist, and work through any issues that they had. So by the end on Saturday, I felt like we had achieved a breakthrough for everybody, and everybody's work was so beautiful that it made me cry. So anyway, that was super, super fun. So it's fun to see you folks who I met there. It's fun to see you on Facebook now. Now I know who you are. Okay, so back to comments and questions. Karen was so sweet. I forgot to put on my spinner ring. Karen was so sweet. She brought me a darling little spinner ring that has a bee on it because I am the queen bee. And she brought one for Amelia that is a ladybug, because Karen knows that I call Amelia, who's my daughter and also my full-time assistant, she's my ladybug. So that was just the most thoughtful thing. Thank you so much, Karen. Diana says, beautiful. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. So great to see everybody from all over the place, from Dallas, Texas to Dublin, Ireland. I love it. And from South Africa, that's fantastic. South Africa to Arizona. So cool. Okay, so someone just said, I am having trouble with the downloads. Will the pattern at the end be another charge? I'll tell you what, here's the deal. Obviously, I have printing costs and shipping costs. But for those of you who have had trouble with the download, if you'll email me, I'll work with you, and you can just cover if you'll cover those costs, then I'll give you everything. I'll send everything to you. So generally, yes, the physical pattern is a separate, that's a separate pattern. And in order to purchase that on my website, you need to pay for it. But if you've already purchased all the downloads and you just need, you're having a hard time and you need the physical pattern, you know me, I will work with you. My goal is to make my customers happy and make sure that you have success. So I think you all, if you've interacted with me, you know that I'll bend over backwards to do whatever I can for you. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Georgia is on the road and she is watching as her husband drives. Drive safely. I hope you're out having a great time somewhere. And Kay from Kerrville, Texas. I've been to Texas. I think Kerrville was probably my very first, or one of my very first live retreats for a quilt guild. So it's always fun to see people that I have visited before. Barbara, we sure missed you at the retreat. Barbara was one of my, we were really looking forward to meeting her in person. She wasn't able to make it because her husband was ill, but we will make it happen again. We have people from Norway and California, Virginia, Germany. Gosh, you guys, this is awesome. Okay. Let's see. So Christy just said, good morning, another bee. I'm so excited and I can't wait to get started. I'm finishing my bachelor's degree and haven't had a lot of time after work. Will you go, girl? Get that degree. That is awesome. And we will celebrate with you. Let's see here. Oh, somebody just said that. Now this is a really good comment. She said, I think I'm at an advantage having to wait to get started. I can see all the wonderful creations. So yes, it might be an advantage. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't recommend that you go ahead and finish your blocks if you want to, but I wouldn't put them together until you have everything finished so that you can arrange them the way you want. Let's see, any more? Jan said she's still hoping for a hummingbird. Jan, you are not going to be disappointed. I am not going to leave you without what you've requested. So just hang tight. Somebody just asked, is anyone using a border between your blocks, or do you think it would take away from the blocks? That's a great question. So if anybody's using a border, we can kind of communicate about that in the Facebook group. That's a really easy platform to communicate and see what other people are doing. If you're not in that Facebook group, there's no requirement, obviously, but it is helpful to be able to interact with people that are making the same project. So that is the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group. Let's see. Oh, Sue just asked a great question. She said, would you consider a Halloween quilt? So, Sue, I got to be honest, Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I do have something planned for Halloween, and I think you're going to like it. So, the answer is I have something coming for Halloween, but I'm not going to release it yet. Thank you, Kimberly, who says she loves my work. I really appreciate that. I am very humbled, and I appreciate the kind words. It looks like Jane also wants a Halloween thing, so that's awesome. Let's see her. We have other questions. Winnemucca, Nevada to Quebec, Canada. So fun. Okay, so Gail asked a question. Will the queen bee block pattern have the honeycomb shape outline? Yes, that will be that is included. It's part of the pattern. So as you get that this afternoon, you'll see that, and it will be scaled to the size that you need. Let's see here. We have Vancouver Island from British Columbia to Michigan. Let's see. Someone just said, made a comment about the retreat. Let's see. She's looking forward to coming to one. I hope you can. So of course, with this being my first retreat, man, I learned a lot of good lessons. I think the teaching part, the education part, I feel like went well. My students, you will be getting a survey this morning and or this afternoon. You'll be getting a survey, and the feedback that I get from you will obviously help guide future retreats as well. I've learned a lot about future retreats, so I think they're just going to get better and better. For as good as this was and as successful as this was, I think going forward, we're going to really know what we're doing. So I really hope to make this an annual thing, and probably twice a year. If we can continue to fill classes, then we'll do that. So if you're looking for me to attend one of my classes elsewhere, I will tell you I've got an event coming up in October in Pensacola, Florida. That's through a quilt guild, and you can always see the events that I am visiting on my events tab of my website, so collagequilter.com, and you'll see an events tab up there. And I don't have everything up there right now, but as I have links for registration, they'll be added there. Another thing that I'll be attending in January, I will be attending and teaching 5 classes, I think, so I'm a full-time instructor at Road to California in January. So if that's easier for you, you're on the West Coast, you can also join me at Road to California. And I'll be posting that link and providing more information as that gets a little bit closer as well. Okay, so Charmaine just asked a really great question. She said, when you are working with one of the blocks, how many fabric choices should we have in a color palette? I have had 20, and it still seems that isn't enough. So Charmaine, that is an excellent question. So if we take one of these, for instance, let's just take this down, and I like to kind of count so that you know. Per color choice, I always say per color choice, and it depends on obviously on how large the section is that you're working on, but let's just count and see. So in the yellow section of the bee, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I count 6 fabrics in the yellow, and that's a pretty small area. And then in the black part of the bee, which has a lot of blue, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10. So I have 10 different fabrics, 10 different fabrics for the black section. Now, if I flip it over, and I've got a much larger space that I'm covering, that's all pretty much the same color. What I'll do is just pull as much fabric as I think I need, and it can be. I probably have 24 different shades of red in here. This has a slight highlight here where I've gone a little bit lighter. So the spectrum is narrower on this one, just because that's what the guide is. But I still have a really good variety. And here's the other thing. The more fabric, the better. I've never said to myself, oh, dang it, I pulled too much fabric. I will never say that. Most of the time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to just pull a little bit more. So when I start a project, and if I look at this and I say, okay, I'm going to do a red flower, I'm going to pull out as much red as I think I'm going to need, and then some. And a lot of times I don't use all of it, but just pull as much as you need. So this is why I'm a big, big advocate. Well, it's why I started selling my fabric bundles, because we all need to expand our spectrum from light to dark, and we need a good variety of pieces that will read as a warm version or a cool version. And I like to have fabric that has a lot of interest and excitement. So one thing that's kind of interesting is we're sold out of our red bundle. I have enough red fabric here that I've curated to create another red bundle, but it doesn't have enough variety yet. I'm waiting for a few more pieces. And to me, it's more important to get that bundle right so that you have exactly the tools that you need to create a really stunning piece of artwork. Right now, the bundle is just a little bit, it's not quite there. So I'm not going to release that yet. So I just want you to know that that's kind of how I operate. I want everything to be tip top. I want it to be just right before I put it out there. Okay. Hello from a Norwegian in Italia. Oh, you lucky woman. Anita is in Italy today, even though she's from Norway. And we've got our friend from the Netherlands as well. Let's see. So, oh, Connie, she said, hi, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Connie. It's snowing in the mountains. Yay. Connie is my neighbor. She just lives in Cottonwood Heights. So yeah, we got some rain this morning and probably some snow in the mountains, which is what we need. Okay. Oh, Joyce just said this. Thank you, Joyce. She reminded me, I was a guest on the quilt show last year. So if you subscribe to the quilt show, you can go see my interview with Ricky Timms from the quilt show. And then back in April, I was a guest on the Handy Quilter show. So both of those, if you want to go check those out, I was on the Handy Quilter show and the quilt show last year. Let's see here. Cindy just, I love it. Cindy just said she wants a dragonfly, please. Okay, Cindy, if you insist, there might be a dragonfly coming soon. All right, so let's keep going. Yes, for Halloween, so we've got a few people who also love Halloween, and I'm going to dress up for Halloween. I think over Halloween, I will probably be in Houston. I am going to be visiting Market and purchasing oodles and oodles of fabric that I can use in beautiful collages and make available to you. And we will also have a booth at Quilt Festival. So if you're going to go to Quilt Festival, come and see me. I won't be teaching at Quilt Festival, but if you come to my booth, I'll do demonstrations. I'll be happy to talk to you, and I really want to meet you. Okay, so Marilyn just said, how do I join? You can join the quilt along still just by going to collagequilter.com, and the very first thing that you see there is an invitation to join the garden party quilt along. It's also in the digital patterns, so if you do the little drop down menu, you can go to digital patterns and sign up there, register there, and you'll receive everything that we have created up until now, which is everything here. Okay, so Yvette just asked a great question. What thread to use to quilt? So she said she hasn't started yet. So when I use my domestic machine, so I'm using my domestic machine on each of these blocks, and I hate walking away, but I'm going to show you. My quilt machine is right there. I'm just going to grab it and show you the thread that I like. So let me grab that just a second. Okay, so I have a whole case of this awesome thread. Let me look at it is, let me see here. So this came with my Bernina when I bought it, and it is a Mon brand, and it's Isocord 40, 100% polyester thread. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it's made in Germany. It is 100% polyester. The main thing is, and here, look, I'm going to be honest with you. You guys know I'm not the best quilter. And I just have oodles and oodles of different varieties of thread. When I'm using my Bernina, I kind of will just use whatever thread is around. Sometimes it's cotton. I try not to use cotton because when you're quilting through collage, it tends to break easier. So when you're quilting through collage, I do like 100% cotton. But with these blocks, there's a lot that is that doesn't have collage on it. So if necessary to get the right color, I'll just use whatever thread I have. And the discussion that I had with Marion McClellan last week might be really helpful to just go review that, because she talks about thread and she's much more of an expert than I am. So anyway, 100% polyester is what I use. And this looks like it's, what did I say? 40, a 40 weight. So there you go. Okay, hope that answers it. Let's see here. Karen just said, in the Halloween project, no spiders. They creep me out. I'm with you, Karen. I hate spiders. There will be no spiders. Let's see here. Oh, somebody said, I will never catch up. Planning on finishing up the 12 Days of Christmas in the fall. Well, here's the thing. These are small and you can get them done pretty quickly. I can get several done in a day. So they're small projects. That's the great thing about this project, that they're small. And here's the other thing. You don't have to make all of them. If you just want to make one or two for a cute pillow, like, oh my gosh, the cutest, right? So let's see, Laura, thank you. I do have a lot of passion for what I do. I feel so fortunate to be able to do what I love and share it with awesome people that are my community. And I know that I'm so blessed. So I hope that you feel my enthusiasm and my affection for you. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. Diane says she already has her bee colors out. Good girl. Let's see. Oh, Susie said, looking forward to the next retreat announcement. That will be coming. Mary just asked, will all the retreats be in Utah? So that's a really good question. Obviously, I live in Utah. I'm very familiar with it, so it feels really easy for me. It's comfortable. I have toyed with the idea of expanding and maybe doing something that's on the East Coast. I mean, I was thinking about maybe finding a nice resort in Tennessee. I think that will be down the road a little bit, but that would be really fun, right? It would be so fun to do one retreat in Utah and one retreat elsewhere in the country or anywhere. So I would love that. I'll let you know. Okay, so let's see if there's any other questions here. We've got, oh, good. Yeah, I've got somebody that's coming to Pensacola. Fantastic. I'll look forward to meeting you as well. Joe Davis, thank you always for hopping on from North Wales. I want to go to North Wales and do a retreat there. Let's see. So Jane just said in early October. Let's see. Oh, Barbara. So back to the number of fabrics used in a project. Barbara said she used almost 30 different pieces of fabric in her Gerber Daisy, and I'm sure it looks amazing. So if you haven't already, please post it, Barbara. I want to see it, and I'm sure it looks so awesome. Okay, let's see what else. Jane just asked another really good question. She said, do you ever tea dye some existing colors to create shading? So, no, I haven't used tea dye. I think it's a great idea. I really encourage you to explore and use all the creative ways that you can come up with to get the color of fabric that you want. The thing that I have been using that I really enjoy and it's just so fun and so easy are Inktense pencils. So I have my set of 24 Inktense, and those are really fun. So, and those, if I feel like I haven't like nailed, the shading on something, I will pull out my Inktense and kind of play with that. I intend to do that. I'll show you. Maybe we'll do that with the poppy. I might do it with the poppy. I might do it with the ranunculus. Just kind of, if I do that, I'll do a video and share that with you. The other thing that, I as much as I love print fabric, and that is what I use mostly, boy, batiks really come in an enormous variety of color that printed fabrics don't. Some of those really weird colors that are kind of ugly that you would think, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to make a quilt with that. They are super necessary to have in your fabric stash as a collage quilter. Sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat and I don't have a glass of water up here. Let's see. Carol just said, what fabric did the Brunera leaves on the ladybug come from? So I used fussy cut fabric from, I've got it here. Some of them are from Climbing Geraniums print by Kaif, I believe. And this one is from the Anna Maria Horner, one of the Anna Maria Horner fabrics that's in my fussy cutting bundle. So both of those fabrics can be found in the fussy cutting bundle. It's sold out currently, but it is on order and we will be releasing that again soon. So Margaret asked, do you spray water on the piece when you steam or just a good steam iron? I do both. So obviously when you right before you're going to quilt something is the best time to just steam it really good. And I spray water on it on both sides, and then I continue to press it. So it's just super, super steamy. And by the time I'm done pressing it and I get it under my needle on my machine, it's very pliable and soft. So I have had absolutely zero problem quilting any of these projects, and I'm proud to show you the back side for once because they're nice and tidy. I don't feel like I've had any issues with quilting. Part of that is probably due to my awesome machine. Well, I'm sure it is all due to my machine. It doesn't have anything to do with my my skill as a quilter. Let's see here. I'm looking for more questions that I can answer for you. So someone just asked a really good question. Are there the same amount of creatures as there are flowers? Yes. In this project, there are 6 flowers and 6 creatures or insects and such. Okay. Let's see. Nancy, yes, I will look forward to seeing you at Quilt Festival. Oh, by the way, I am going to be at the Salt Lake City Quilt Festival in July. So if you are anywhere near the Intermountain West or California and you're planning on coming, please look for me. So we'll have a booth there as well. So somebody just said, I am from the official Halloween capital of the world. Looking forward to a Halloween quilt. Where is the Halloween capital of the world? I thought it was my house. Are you from like what? Salem, Massachusetts, or where? I can't wait. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to know that there are other people that love Halloween as much as I do. So yes, I can't wait to get started on my Halloween project. Oh, look, Blue came for a visit. Come here, baby. Come here, my little boy that I love. This is my new baby, and I love him so much. Isn't he the most beautiful? Look, do you see yourself? Do you see yourself there? I love this kitty so much. I missed him so much when I was on my retreat. Okay, and I think he missed me too. He just loves me. Okay, so anyway, bye, Barbara. Thanks for joining me. Somebody asked, are you coming to Europe? Tell you what, you invite me, I'll get myself there. I will come to Europe. I love Europe. Let's see here. Great, Diane. I will see you in Houston. Isacord is a great thread. Oh, that's this. Isacord, great thread. Isacord by Amon Group. Okay. And she said she uses it on her long arm as well. So that's fantastic. Let's see. Oh, great to have you from Brazil. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see here. Okay, so somebody asked, at retreats, do we do what we want, or do you have patterns that you teach? So when you come to a retreat, one of my retreats, you can use any pattern that's my pattern. So at this retreat that I just finished, everybody had different patterns, but I do want them to be my patterns because mine have been designed specifically to teach my methods. So that's the reason. Oh, Ermi, I would love to come to Pennsylvania. I love Pennsylvania. Look, guys, I'm happy to travel. You help me get there and I will be there. Let's see. Great to have. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to have everybody from all over the country and all over the world, really. Okay. Okay, here's a question. Yvette said, when creating the collage, I freehand my cuts, but I end up overlapping more than I should. Any comments on how you would cut would sure help. On how I cut would sure help. So yes, my rule of thumb is, generally speaking, I don't cut anything that's larger than the palm of my hand or smaller than a thumbnail. That's my rule of thumb. But the smaller the project, so these are, they're relatively small projects. The smaller the project, the smaller the pieces become. The other thing is, people fall into the way they cut things. It's a weird thing. It kind of becomes your fingerprint. And you can cut in any way that feels natural to you. You'll kind of get into a flow and just cut that same shape over and over. And that's your groove. That's kind of your signature fingerprint with your collage quilts. My cuts tend to be, I will take a piece of paper or a piece of fabric. My cuts tend to always be off the end, obviously. I cut a triangle and then I will round an edge. So I generally, most of the time, have 3 sides on a piece that I cut, but 1 or more sides have been rounded. When we have a lot of images, a lot of designs that have rounded edges, that's necessary to kind of round them up. So I hope that is helpful. And then as far as overlap, when we're doing collage, we don't ever want our pieces to butt up next to each other. We want our collage pieces to overlap. And my rule of thumb there, it doesn't matter how much they overlap. It can be as little as 1/8 of an inch up to 1/2 inch of overlap. So don't worry about how much they're overlapping. And then the other thing too is I don't, I try to avoid multiple overlaps, because if I'm overlapping and overlapping, I'm getting a lot of layers of adhesive, and that does make it harder to stitch through. So generally speaking, I only want to overlap 2 fabrics at a time. And then on occasion, rarely, there will be 3 fabrics that overlap. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. We are just about out of time, and I have a few more questions. I'm going to take one more question because we're out of time. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. Our friend from Anoka, Minnesota is the Halloween capital. The town celebrates the entire month. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. One final question. Am I going to Paducah in 2023? As of right now, probably not. I am kind of cutting back on my outside travel and sticking to my own retreats. I still have a few things that I'm committed to, but I'm kind of trying to be a little more protective of my time as the business grows. And I find it's just difficult for me to keep up with everything. I have a lot going on right now. And furthermore, my son is going to be a junior in high school this fall. Next year, he'll be a senior in high school, and he'll be going on a mission for our church in the summer of 2024. So I am just kind of like, you know what? I got to just spend as much time as possible with my family and limit my travel to travel that's with them. So anyway, those are my thoughts, but never say never. And I'm in it for the long haul. So I hope I get to all the places eventually. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining me. This was a treat as always, and I will, I'm just finishing up the patterns and getting them all ready to send out. So look for your patterns this afternoon. Don't fret. You don't need to worry. I will get them out and they will be to you today. Okay. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy June. Enjoy the longest day of the year coming up tomorrow. Okay. See you. Goodbye.